Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today, we are here with not the cheeriest question ever, I think is fair to say. And the question essentially is, why are dragon Pokemon so rubbish? Why are dragon Pokemon so rubbish in the Pokémon TCG? Because they are. Generally speaking, they are. Now, we will talk about the few dragon Pokemon that have managed to be successful, but you will notice as we go through that any time a dragon Pokemon is good in the Pokemon TCG at the moment, it's because we're playing around and cheating, basically. Because the fact of the matter is, there's so much potential in so many of these dragon Pokemon, and they're just not living up to it. And it's a little bit sad. And we might as well start off with probably the biggest reason, the energy cost. Because let's look at something like Goodra. Goodra could potentially have been a fun card. Now, don't get me wrong, we're talking about a Stage 2 Pokemon here, so that's always going to be a little bit awkward. But what we've got here is the ability Slimy Room, as long as it's active. Whenever your opponent tries to attach an energy card from their hand to a Pokemon, they've got to flip a coin. If tails, they discard it instead of attaching it. Now, it doesn't use their energy attachment for the turn. They can try again. But when they do try again, you still get to flip. And, well, they have to flip. And if it's tails, they don't get to attach the energy. Problem is, Water Psychic 120? And yeah, you're 2-hit KOing Pokemon V, but you're talking about 2 different attachments. It's never going to work. It's way too awkward. And that's a little bit sad. We could look at Dragonite V. Dragonite V's got a little bit of potential here. I mean, 2 energy, 50 damage goes through anything is quite nice. But 3 energy, 250, yeah. I mean, fine, it does 20 damage to each of your bench Pokemon, which isn't ideal. But 250 is enough to get a 1-hit KO on basically any Pokemon V. So we're kind of willing to forgive it. That's not too bad. The problem is, if we look at the energy cost here, it's too much. It's way too much. 2 water, fine, and a lightning. So, the best option here is playing it with, like, Frostmoth. But the problem with Frostmoth is that that's only accelerating water energy. And to be fair, it can. Oh, wait, no, because it's to a benched water Pokemon. We can use Melanie, incidentally, and Melanie does actually work. I'm not slow rolling here, because Melanie can attach to any Pokemon V, regardless of their typing. But the problem is, we now need to attach Lightning for the turn, Water with Melanie. Oh, look, we're still an energy down. Frostmoth could have been the answer, but Frostmoth only attaches to water Pokemon, and that's one of the downsides we see. There are so many types of energy acceleration that work on a particular type, and unfortunately, Dragon don't count as that type. And that just completely derails it and makes me genuinely sad. One of the cards that's coming in Starbirth is Flygon V. And for 1 grass, 2 fighting, 1 colorless, it does 320 to a VMAX. And you got to discard 3 energy. To a non-VMAX, it only does 160. But come on, it's a Pokemon that's designed to be going after VMAXs. And it's hard to accelerate that fighting energy. And oftentimes the best option we've got here is B. B is a lovely little supporter card, lets you discard the top 5 cards of your deck and attach any energy, doesn't matter what kind, that you discarded to your bench fighting Pokemon. And even though Flygon predominantly uses fighting energy, it is not a fighting Pokemon, so it can't use B. And even though Dragonite uses predominantly water energy, it's not a water Pokemon, so it can't use Frostmoth. And it's easy to look at dragons and go, oh, awkward attack cost. And that's a fair point. That is the biggest reason why dragons are rubbish. But the thing to remember is that it's not just the attack cost. It is the fact that that attack cost often cannot be paid because the best energy acceleration of particular types of energy often specifically excludes dragon Pokemon, like I've just shown you. And it's awkward. And sometimes there are nice exceptions. So, Regidrago, for instance, 2 grass, 1 fire, 240 minus 20 for each damage counter on it. And that can be played with Cherim, which is lovely, because Cherim will accelerate grass energy anywhere. even to, well, as long as it doesn't have a rule box, even to Dragon Pokemon. Problem is, although that could have been a fun rogue deck in other formats, because of things like Inteleon running around, it's just not good enough at the moment. We are in a format which is pretty hostile generally to single prize Pokemon, but certainly something like this that needs to be clean to do the maximum amount of damage in a format with so much Inteleon, even if they're only dropping a couple of damage counters here or there, that will over time add up, and maybe not even over time, quite quickly to be honest with you, add up to really hurt the amount of damage you're doing. And this is the problem. Now at this stage you might be thinking, well hang on a second, Wassy, didn't we used to have a plan for that? And the answer is yes. Yes we did. We had Double Dragon Energy. And Double Dragon Energy fixed these problems pretty nicely. It came around in Roaring Skies shortly after Pokemon, introduced Dragon into the trading card game. And essentially, it's just a double any energy you like, 2 of any energy, when attached to Dragon Pokemon. And this fixes an awful lot of the problems, because not only does it make the attack cost less awkward in terms of different kinds of energy, which is huge, but it also gives them a little bit of a boost in terms of speed, which so much of the dragons actually need. They need that so much. Well, unfortunately, that came around in Roaring Skies and never got reprinted. Got a few reprints in Japan, never got an English language reprint, ever. Came around in Roaring Skies, rotated out when Roaring Skies rotated out, and yeah, sure, dragons went away for a while before they were reintroduced in Evolving Skies, but we never got Double Dragon Energy back. And if we look at some of these Pokemon, this could make a huge difference. It could make things so much better. All of a sudden, that Goodra would be a single energy attachment, and that could maybe work. Dragonite could use Melanie and Double Dragon Energy, and all of a sudden that would have an attack that could go off. This could be good. But unfortunately, it's not there. It's not an option. I mean, Noivern V. This is one I quite like. It's got free retreat, and for a single Psychic Energy, you deal 20 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon, which is very cool. And then for a Double Dragon Energy, would do 180 if you could match hand sizes with your opponent. And matching hand sizes, something like play a Marnie, play a single card, boom, you've matched hand sizes. Don't worry about it. That's not difficult to do at the moment. That could be cool. These could be good, viable Pokemon. But unfortunately, we don't have Double Dragon Energy. And I'm not saying that Double Dragon Energy would instantly make dragons top tier, but I am saying that Double Dragon Energy would pretty much overnight turn dragons from basically not viable to viable. Because the fact of the matter is, right, there are a few dragons that are viable, but basically for a dragon Pokemon to be viable in the Pokémon TCG in 2022, you've got to jump through hoops. So for instance, one of the ones that I really like, it was the best pre-release promo in Fusion Strike, Latias. Love me some Latias. Really cool card. And it's got the attack Dyna Barrier, 70 damage. During your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from any Pokemon V Max. Really good attack. But it's for a Fire and a Psychic and a Colorless. Well, that's ridiculous. That's not going to work. It's too awkward. So what do? We use Mew V Max. Because Mew V Max for 2 colourless energy can copy the attack of any Fusion Strike Pokemon on your bench. So now, you're not really paying the super awkward attack cost because you're paying 2 colourless energy on Mew. But that's cheating. That's not really using Latias to its full effect. That's saying, well, Latias is cool, but Latias itself is too awkward. I know. We can go ahead and cheat. And that's just a little bit awkward. That's not really where we want to go. I mean, Duraludon has proven to be a pretty gosh darned good deck. But Duraludon has got a few advantages going for it. Firstly, there is the Metal Duraludon, the one that came around in Champion's Path, which, not for nothing, oh look, I can use Metal Saucer to accelerate energy to that one, and then evolve it up. Or it's a single strike Pokemon, so I can use Houndoom to get the energy on. But in both of those situations, being a dragon Pokemon isn't what's giving us the advantage. It's I can be a metal Pokemon and then evolve up. Or I can be a single strike Pokemon and I can take advantage in that way. And that's not the same. That is being good in spite of being a dragon Pokemon, not because you are a dragon Pokemon. And that's a very, very different thing, ladies and gentlemen. That's a very, very different thing indeed. I mean, the one that's really made the biggest impact lately, the card which has been out, and it's the one that everybody hates, is Arceus and Alga and Palkia. Now, obviously, right, this is rotated at this stage, but there was a fairly lengthy period of time where ADP was the biggest, bestest, most annoying deck in the game. But that was another deck that kind of worked through its dragonness to be a good deck. There was nothing about it being a dragon, and to be fair, in Expanded, when you do have double dragon energy, and you can get the turn 1 altered creation, that was amazing. Because what people would do a lot of the time with ADP was they would combo it with Zacian, either using the ability or Metal Saucer, depending on whether you went first or second, and then using Energy Switch, and they would use that to get rolling. Or they would just accept the fact that they were going to be, 2 turns of attachment, but it was going to be worth it when they got there. But ADP literally let you take an extra prize and do an extra 30 damage for every attack for the rest of the game. And then for third energy, you would do 180, because you'd already used Altered Creation, and then start accelerating free energy at the same time. That was very much an exception. And the point I'm making is that although dragons are not completely unviable, we've pretty much seen, since dragons came back, and honestly, before they went away, that in order for dragon Pokemon to be good, you have to have a workaround which is not dragon related. And that's not ideal. And it's the energy. But it's not just the energy printed on the card, it's also the fact that so much of the traditional energy acceleration doesn't work. It's the fact that so many of these are one energy too many, and it's the fact that double dragon energy, when we saw dragons initially, when they first came around, we went, what? And then Roaring Skies came along, and double dragon energy got printed, and we went, oh, okay. Yeah, we see. And literally, that was generally like the collective sigh from the community, and we all went, oh, okay, I get it, yes. You gave them super awkward attack costs, but you're giving us double dragon energy, so that fixes everything. You almost had us then. But now dragons have come back without double dragon energy, and I really do think the conclusion is this simple. Bring back double dragon energy. Double dragon energy is not going to break anything that I can see. It is not going to give an advantage to the top decks around at the moment like Mew. What bringing back double dragon energy will do is help specifically dragon Pokemon, nothing but dragon Pokemon, actually have a chance, because at the moment, as I've shown you, the ones that are doing well have basically got non-dragon cheating ways. How cool would it be if you could have Dragonite with double dragon energy and Melanie, and it could be a legitimate deck? I don't think that would be broken, I think it would be good. How good would it be if Noivern V was actually legitimately viable? I would love it, ladies and gentlemen. I would love it. But I want to know what you think. Are there any dragons in at the moment that you think are particularly good that could take advantage of double dragon energy? Are there any you particularly like? I mean, for me personally, I love the combination of Latios and Latias. And I know the lovely, legally sarcastic, one of my supporters over at patreon.com/PTCG Radio has been singing the praises of this deck, because both Latios and Latias have an ability that let you attach your psychic energy from your hand to the other one. Latios attaches to Latias, Latias attaches to Latios, and maybe that is a way in which, you got Dyna Barrier on Latias we've already talked about, and then you got Luster Purge on Latios, which does 210 damage and discards 2 energy. So there is a potential here to have an attack on Latios that can KO Pokemon V or below, and have an attack on Latias that can block VMAXs, and maybe between the two of them you've actually got a viable deck. But even then, it's not really dragons for the sake of dragons. It is their abilities helping each other out, and also their Fusion Strike Pokemon, so they can use Elisa's Sparkle, which is a huge deal, to accelerate extra energy, and that's actually going to help them. Again, it's really taking advantage of being a Fusion Strike Pokemon more than being a dragon. But even then, if you take Elisa Sparkle plus Double Dragon Energy plus Blue and Red Assist, that could be a legitimately viable single prize deck. Bring back Double Dragon Energy, all will be well. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me what you think about all of this. Tell me your favourite dragons. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.